Hi dancers. Today I want to talk to you about this guy, Peg Leg Bates. I'm going to read a story about his life, and then we're going to do one of his most famous steps, which is what he's doing right there. It's called the airplane. So this should be fun. This book is called Knockin' on Wood. Back in 1912 in South Carolina, when Clayton Bate was only 5 years old, he danced every chance he got. He had no shoes, so he danced barefoot. He had no music, so he made dance rhythms by clapping his hands and tapping his feet. Can you make dance rhythms by clapping your hands and tapping your feet? Let's try. Can you do it? Nice job. Clayton's mama was a sharecropper, raising cotton on a white man's land for less than she deserved. She had to accept the white landowner's payment, whether it was fair or not. Her situation was common in those days in the rural South. Clayton hated farming. To escape the field work, he'd walk into town to the barber shop where he could find an audience for his dancing. This is a picture of Clayton's mom working as a sharecropper. Can you see the cotton? She's picking cotton in this picture. At the barber shop, Clayton danced for white folk who threw him pennies and nickels. He did what was called a buck dancing, not knowing it was really tap. When Mommy missed her son, she went after him and announced to the crowd, "You will not make a monkey out of my boy," and then she dragged him back home. That didn't stop Clayton. Nothing did. Dancing was what he loved best, and he did whatever it took to keep on doing it. Here's a picture of Clayton dancing at the barber shop. And there's his mom in the doorway. Ugh, his mom looks really what? Can you see? Yeah, really mad. When Clayton was 12 years old, he asked Mommy if he could go to work at the local cottonseed mill to get away from the fields. Mama didn't want him to do this. He was too young for factory work. After many weeks of Clayton's pleading, Mama said, "I'll put it to the Lord and ask what to do." And the next morning, Mama said yes, not sure if it was the Lord's will or Clayton had simply worn her down. So in this picture, he's pointing to the mill, saying, "I want to work there." And there it is. Now, you know he was much too young to work in the mill. 12 years old is much too young, and this would never happen today. But on Clayton's third day working at the cottonseed mill, there was a terrible accident. His left leg got caught in a machine. The leg had to be amputated, but it wasn't done in a hospital. Amputated means taken off. No such thing was possible for a poor black boy in the South in 1919. The operation was performed at home by local doctors on the kitchen table, and no one thought Clayton would ever walk again. Here are the workers taking Clayton out of the cottonseed plant. And here he is in his house. Oh no, his mama looks really what? Oh, just really sad, huh? Mama cried, "I must have heard the Lord wrong." Whether what Mama heard was right or wrong, Clayton's life would never be ordinary again. He had moments of deep despair. That means really sad. But there was something in his soul that wouldn't let him give up. He was young and full of life, just like you guys. and he had musical rhythms in his head that he just had to let out, just like you. Long before Clayton got up on crutches, before long, Clayton got up on crutches made out of 2 broomsticks, walking at first. So here's his mom taking care of him, and here he is walking. And there's some chickens there. Soon, Clayton was tapping out his rhythms with his crutches. He just had to dance. So his uncle whittled him a wooden leg, a peg leg. The tip was half rubber, so he wouldn't slip, and half leather, so it made sounds. On his right foot, Clayton wore a tap shoe. He created amazing rhythms, all his own. Peg-leg Bates began to emerge. As Mama looked on, she thought dancing is his future, and there's nothing gonna stop him. Maybe it's for the best. Here's a picture of his uncle whittling, meaning to take a knife and create from wood his peg leg. And here is a picture of him learning to dance with that peg leg. He did all the usual time steps. So I'm going to show you some time steps. He did cramp roll turns. You guys know what cramp rolls are, right? And he did them with turning. He did maxi forwards and pullbacks. But when Pegleg did them, he created his own riffs. Nobody had ever seen anything like his brand of rhythm tap. So can you imagine all the steps that I just did, but with only one leg and one peg? Look at that. He had to come up with a whole nother style of dancing, didn't he? Wow. Pegleg began his career dancing for black audiences. He took pride in his appearance and wore a matching pegleg with every costume. Pegleg often finished his performance with his own special dance step, the American jet plane. When he tapped across the stage, leaped 5 feet into the air, which is just as tall as Miss Liz, and landed on his peg leg, and the other leg was straight out. He always brought the house down, which is a different way of saying that the audience really loved it. And they were probably, oh, look at the picture. They're standing up and clapping. They loved it so much. And there's a picture of him on stage. We're going to learn how to do the American jet plane. Oh, he traveled the country with other black performers, dancing in musical variety shows. Do you see? Variety shows. Look at the guys dancing with him. And doesn't he look good? Remember, all of his pegs matched his outfits. Crazy. Pegleg began attracting bigger and bigger audiences, and soon vaudeville theaters, where only white performers and audiences were allowed, wanted him on the bill. There, white dancers wore blackface. They pretended. Pegleg danced in the same makeup so no one would know he was black. After the I didn't know that. After the show, Pegleg wasn't allowed to eat near the theater with the other performers. Instead, he had to go to restaurants in the black part of town to be served. Pegleg endured this unfair treatment so he could keep on dancing. Wow, look at that. And there he is eating at the restaurant. Finally, Pegleg gained so much recognition that there was no need for a disguise. He became a star performer dancing at the Cotton Club in Harlem, New York, on the Ed Sullivan television show, and in movies. So here he is dancing on stage. Do you see how high he's getting? And then here he is in a movie. He's pretending to be a pirate. That's crazy. Let's see. He even danced for the King and Queen of England. What? Oh, what color is his outfit right now? And what color is the peg? Can you see? And here is the King and Queen of England, which is a really big deal. Let's see. After appearing all over the world and often being denied the opportunity to eat or sleep where he performed, Pegleg decided to build his own resort hotel where Black people were welcome. In 1951, he opened the Pegleg Bates Country Club in the Catskill Mountains of New York. For more than 35 years, he performed there and he greeted his guests. In spite of the adversity he faced, Pegleg Bates never let anything stop him. And here he is. Here he is. He built that country club and he let everybody in. And there he is. Now we're going to see a picture of the real Pegleg Bates, not just a drawing. Black is black or white, one leg or two, it doesn't matter, good is good, he said. He also said, I was equal to better than the best of the two-legged tappers. Nobody ever caught up with me, and there's been a lot that tried. And the famous quote is, don't look at me in sympathy. I'm glad that I'm this way. I feel good. I'm knocking on wood. As long as I can say, I mix light fantastics up with hot gymnastics. I'm Pegleg Bates, one-leg dancing man. He lived from 1907 to 1998. And here is a picture of him. Can you see? And that's the real Pegleg Bates. So there wasn't just one thing that he had to deal with, not just his peg leg, but a long, long time ago, there were people separated because of the color of their skin. So if they had darker skin like Pegleg Bates, sometimes they weren't allowed in places. So he not only had to deal with this, his peg leg, he had to deal with the color of his skin as well. And he conquered both of those things, and he made the world a better place for it because he brought lots of people together no matter what their skin color was. So he's a really cool guy. Let's see if we can do the airplane. Okay, and he called it the American jet plane. So let's turn some music on here. This is gonna be a long video, huh? Turn some music on. And if we can, we'll try to do the airplane. So start on one foot. So get one foot up. Well, let's see. Here we go. Can you hear that? All right. Okay. So let's try it. He was on one foot. Switch, and then be on the other foot. What are we doing? Switch, 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 switch. When you go from one foot to the same foot, it's called a what? A hop. Good job, you guys. All right. Let me see you try it. One foot, and switch to the other. And one foot, and switch to the other. You guys are awesome. Thanks.